Students, and welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian and I'm streaming to you from beautiful Victoria here in Western Canada. I hope that all of you are having a superb weekend so far. Students, in this class right now we are looking at IELTS speaking, and specifically we are going to be talking about an awarded person. This is a members chat class. To join the chat, you need to be a member of our YouTube channel. You can do that simply by clicking the join button next to the subscribe button. If you don't see that, send us an email. We can help you out a little bit with that. Welcome to our members. Fuang, Chayani, nice to have you back on the roster. Masenate, nice to have you in the class early on. And Domenico, good to see you in the class. Students, this lesson is presented to you by aehelp.com. For academic IELTS, visit us there. For general IELTS, check us out at gieltshelp.com. These are the websites that power these live lessons. They contain basically the textbooks for these live classes and the tools that we use for the live classes. This is our academic IELTS website here. We will be using this a little bit later on to interact with our members and our students. You can join our premium IELTS package by clicking this big red button that's just above my head there. It is a one-time payment for lifetime access. We do not believe in subscription models for IELTS. We're an IDP affiliate. We're a British Council partner. We're an IELTS test registration center. I'm a certified British Council agent. You click that join now button, and then when you join these live classes, I'm always giving you these extra little bits of help. Use the discount code SKILL9 for a 10% discount from your premium package. Check the price. It's cheaper in most countries than what you see here because I'm in Canada, and the prices are adjusted for your local economy. So check that out. We use geo pricing to help as many students as possible. This is gieltshelp.com here with the green background. Same concept for general IELTS students. Click that big red button right there just above my head. It's a one-time payment for lifetime access, and you're off to the races. Students, you can definitely get our apps. Apps are available in your app stores. Academic IELTS Help, General IELTS Help. Those apps will link to the websites so that you can learn on the go. Instagram is IELTS_AEHelp and GIELTS Help, where you will find free vocabulary, reels, and little short videos to help you get ready for your next exam, as well as the schedule for these live classes. And of course, you can get the schedule by subscribing to this YouTube channel. So hit that notification button and get notifications of the schedules for when these live classes are happening. You can always email us for questions, adrian@aehelp.com or admin@aehelp.com. Welcome, Bogdan. Nice to have you on board. Send me an email for those exclusive videos. I see that you just joined the membership. That's fantastic. Students, we've got a couple of speaking lessons right now. So speaking part 2, and then following this class will be speaking part 3. Speaking part 3 is connected to speaking part 2. It follows the same topic. That's why I always have these classes back to back, because it makes sense. It's logical. Okay. And here's our schedule for the next week. So we've got the 2 classes today, then no class tomorrow until February 1st, which is usual. Sometimes we have special classes on Sundays on Discord or on some of our other platforms, so look out for those, but not this week. And then I'm back on the 2nd, which is going to be Thursday of next week, with speaking part 1 for everybody. So I'll post the schedule on our YouTube community board shortly after this class, so check it out there. We've got a new release for you on the channel. It's an HD video, learn on the go. It's a really good one. It's like a karaoke or karaoke, first person perspective speaking interview practice with subtitles. I'll put the link into the chat. check that out. It's great practice for your speaking when you're by yourself. So definitely take a look at that. Okay. And I believe part 1 in that video is about talking about hobbies, which is like one of the most popular topics on the IELTS. So definitely check out that video. Okay. All right. IELTS speaking part 2. So after you've done speaking part 1, the examiner will say that is the end of part 1. We will now continue with part 2. For this part, I will show you some questions. You will have 1 minute to read these. Think about your answers. Then you will have 1 to 2 minutes to speak. I will tell you when to start, when to stop. And then they show you the questions. It's usually a booklet, by the way. And they sometimes say it's a card, but it's usually like a booklet if you're doing the face-to-face exam. If you're doing the computer-based, they'll send it to you via the computer. And then you see these questions. There's usually like 5 to 7 questions on the card. You have to answer all of them. And it has to be a story. You don't just want to go question by question. That's a bit strange, and your mark will not be so high. So to get those really high band scores, okay, band 7, 8, 9, that students really want to get, you have to create a little story. Okay, so keep that in mind, everybody. Again, that's really important for a lot of people. I know many of our members already know this, but it's a refresher, and for a lot of the viewers out there who are new to this, band 7, and band 7 means a good user of English, all the way to a band 9, which means an expert user of English. You have to create a story. A clear, unique, accurate, and hopefully even interesting. To answer the cue card in about 90 seconds. If you get a bit more time, then that's fine. Remember the instructions, it's 1 to 2 minutes. Most of the time they'll let you speak a little bit more than a minute, and oftentimes they will not let you speak 2 minutes if you're repeating yourself or going off topic, okay? Like I just did, repeating yourself. So you have to aim for about 90 seconds, okay? That should be your practice time, 90 seconds. But if you are allowed to go the full 2 minutes, the 120 seconds, then make sure that you practice giving more details after the 90 seconds, okay? All right, so the examiner will say, talk about someone you personally know who has won a big award. Okay, let's do this, members. So our goal in this class is to go through the steps of coming up with a band 9 level answer and then providing a band 9 level response, okay? Now, your first step should always be to just read the topic statement or question very, very carefully. And I highly, highly recommend reading it at least twice. If not all the questions twice, at least this one twice. So talk about someone you personally know who has won a big award. Who is this person and what is his or her relationship to you? What award did they receive and when? How did they achieve this award? Why do you think they deserve this award? You will have 1 to 2 minutes to talk about this topic. Okay, so here we look at this, and then the next step is what, students? So members, let me know. Remind me, what's the next step? So I've read the question twice carefully. What do I do now? What's my next step? Step number 2. Hopefully you're going to be telling me this while I'm typing it out. Yeah, Chayani, that's right. Identify the category and the topic. Okay. All right. So, and the tense. Or the tense is used. So what's the verb tense? Are we talking about the past? Are we talking about the present? Are we talking about the future? Are we talking about all three of them? Okay, you can't just talk about the past, present, and future no matter what they ask you. That doesn't work, all right? It works for some topics, but not for all topics, all right? Some topics are asking you only about the past. Some topics are asking you more about the present. So pay attention to what kind of tenses you have to use. Okay, here we're talking about people. Now, there are 5 categories, as I keep saying. So you might be asked to talk about a person, like in this situation. You might be asked to talk about an object, a place, an event, or an idea, or sometimes a little bit of a combination of 2. Now, each of these has a very specific way to talk about it. Okay, so there's a specific way to talk about a person. There's a specific way to talk about an object. And again, for those of you students who have access to our premium IELTS package, I'll just jump into my student account here. You can go to the second tab, the full online academic course, go to the speaking section lessons, and you will find the different topics of talking about people, places, and so on when you get to the part 2 lessons in here. Okay, so check that out. Make sure to go through that speaking section of the test. Okay, so learn to talk about people, objects, places, events, and ideas before you sit your IELTS exam. It's very important. Okay, today we're going to practice talking about people. When we talk about people, Sananta, Karina, welcome. What should we say? So if we want to talk about a person to a listener, here in this case the examiner, and we want to have a really good story, and we want to create a clear picture, okay? Because that's what good communication, good English is creating a clear picture on the topic in the listener's head. So to create that clear picture, talking about a person, what should we include? What do we need to tell to this stranger that's sitting in front of us, this examiner, this woman, or this man that's sitting there and waiting for the answer? Jatinder says, well, we should talk a little bit about their appearance. Yeah, absolutely. So enable the examiner to visualize. We don't just want the examiner to imagine this person as a happy face or a happy face emoji. Right? We want them to kind of have a picture, paint a picture. And the appearance, you only want to spend very short, like maybe 15 seconds of your speaking on that, okay? Not more. So just a quick, clear picture. It's like the introduction, right? Here's this person. This is what this person kind of looks like, right? You can imagine the person. Okay, good. All right. When you're thinking about the appearance, you need to think about things like age, gender, of course, if it's not clear from the name or the pronouns, gender, the height, eye, hair color, any kind of unique feature, okay, like for example, glasses. So just a few words to introduce what the person looks like, okay? And then Fuang says, with the appearance, we also want to talk about the characteristics. Yeah, so the personality. Exactly, backed by actions. Okay, so an example of that would be like hardworking, trains for 7 hours each day, 7 days a week. Okay, so one of the classic mistakes by candidates when they're talking about a person is they talk a lot about the personality, so they just jump around and keep talking about the personality, but don't explain the personality by action. So they say like, oh, I have this friend who was awarded a trophy for swimming, and they're really hardworking, and they're super nice and friendly, so I really like them. They're very helpful. They're always helping me out with things. And it's just like, okay, like you're telling me about your friend who's all these characteristics, but what does that mean? Like, how are they helpful? How are they kind? How are they hardworking? So whenever you tell the listener the personality, you should always back it up with an action, right? That makes it clear for that person. We have a concept of what it means to be kind, but that could be a million different actions of kindness, right? So you want to express that, and that will create lexical resource marks and grammatical range. So using connectives, of course, right? So definitely always back that up. Yeah. All right. Very good, Fuang. Thank you for that. Okay. So we want to visualize the person, see them, and then we want to know their personality, and then we want to see that person in action, right? So it's kind of like you create this character and then you set that character into motion, right? You give it feelings and you give it actions, right? So that's what you do when you talk about a person. All right, so let's get moving here. Very important. Again, you can learn all of this in the course, in the premium package, everyone, okay? And for those of you who have it, make sure to use it. Make sure to check those part 2 descriptions, all right? Romelia, welcome aboard. All right, everyone. So here, now we know that, okay, we need to talk about a person who we know that has won a big award. Obviously, we're going to use the past tense, maybe some present tense, the continuous forms. What other tense should I use here? So what is a really important grammatical tense to use when you're talking about a person who has won an award? My friend Julie has won a major award for literature. Hint, right? Not the past perfect. Past perfect, you might use it, but even more importantly, and this is important, you should know this. You can also learn this in the course in the grammar section when you're learning about this grammar. You should always know why you're using a kind of grammar in English. Not conditional, Chayani. That's not what I'm thinking about. When you know the reason for this grammar, it will be immediate. You will know this right away, especially in this topic. Yeah, Sunantha, that's right. It's the present perfect, okay? So students, keep in mind, there are 5 main reasons or 5 major reasons to use present perfect in English, okay? So here they are. I'm just going to give you the 5 reasons right now, and maybe I'll give you some verbal examples, but I'm not going to digress here, okay? So the first reason, number 1, is to show change over time or no change over time. Wow, your kids have grown so much since we last met. Wow, your dog hasn't grown at all since we last met. It's just as tiny as ever. Right? Change over time, no change over time. Wow, your hair has grown so long over the last year or so. Wow, your hair hasn't grown at all. You've become bald. Right? That's kind of my story. Okay, so change over time or no change over time. The other one is repetition over time or no repetition over time. Okay, the negatives are always true of this. Okay, so, or no change over time, or sorry, no repetition over time. So the city has been attacked 4 times over the last century. All right, this city has been attacked only once in the last century, right? So repetition over time or no repetition over time. The next one is to show experience or emphasize experience. Or non-experience. Right? So I have visited Bucharest a few years back. I haven't visited Paris right? Experience or no experience, present perfect. Little bit of grammar, okay, a little bit of grammar here to kick off this class. And the next one, we're going to get to the award one in a moment here. You're going to see it, is expectation. To indicate expectation, okay? Or no expectation. Or, sorry, I should say expectation incomplete. The teacher asks you, have you done your homework? No, I haven't. Expectation incomplete, right? That's all present perfect, okay? So keep that in mind, all right? So expectation incomplete. And then last but not least, all of these are just as important to show achievement, okay? And to show achievement, look, I don't even need to write because it's right here. My friend Julie has won a major award for literature or non-achievement, right? My friend Julie hasn't won an award for literature, okay? Has never won, right? So these are basically the 5 reasons that we really use present perfect. Now, if you think about it, there are a lot of situations in life that will fit into these 5 reasons. So emphasizing experience, showing change over time, repetition over time, achievement over time. And so all of these can be very, very common, okay, in real life. So that's why we use the present perfect so often. And all of these 5 reasons have a commonality, okay? And that's the structure of present perfect. So many of you know that present perfect, the way that it works is basically you have, let me just open up a bit of space here. So what most of you learn in your English classes with present perfect is that you see this kind of a diagram where present perfect is an event that happens somewhere in the past, right? So this is the past. It continues until the present. So this is the present. And then this is expected to continue into the future. This is the future, right? And this diagram, the reason why it has this open circle here is because it's an unspecified time. So the exact time doesn't matter. So this time here, we don't have an exact time. We don't say like 1987, July 14th was the start of this event. No, we don't need that, okay? And there's a reason for it. It's all logical. It's all human. So when you understand English grammar, it's actually quite beautiful. A lot of people get frustrated. They're like, what is this crazy present perfect? Why do you need such a crazy grammar? It's so hard and so hard to learn and when to use it. But really, when you understand what it is, why it is, and how it works, so again, critical thinking, right, about grammar, then it's quite elegant and it makes a lot of sense why it evolved in the language. So if you think about change over time, repetition over time, emphasizing experience, then it all fits into this this scheme of not focusing on the exact time, starting in the past, continuing to the present, and always into the future. Like in this cue card. So this cue card says, talk about a person that you know who has achieved an award, who has gotten an award. When a person receives an award, like let's say you win a gold medal in swimming, right? It doesn't matter too much exactly what day you got that medal, right? So it could be 2 months ago, 2 years ago, 10 years ago. It doesn't really matter because you won that award. At that time, you were the best. You got that gold medal, right? And that's your achievement, right? You got that. that achievement, that victory, that win, that continues until now. You are still the winner of that event. And that will continue into the future forever. You will always be the winner of that event. You will always be the gold medalist of that swimming event, of that competition. Does that make sense, everybody? So are you following me here with this diagram and this explanation of the present perfect? Okay, it's quite important because when you understand the concept of where and when to use present perfect, then it really starts to make sense. You're like, oh, okay, I'm talking about an experience here to this person that I want them to feel, so I'm using present perfect. I have visited your city. I have seen all of the amazing landmarks and I have seen the beautiful nature. I'm emphasizing that experience that continues until now and into the future, right? Okay, Fuang says yes. Chayani says yes. Got it. All right. So again, understanding the reasons for grammar is just as important as understanding the structure of grammar. Okay, the what it is and the how it is okay, but you need to know the why it is. All right. Samantha says yes. All right. So definitely for this cue card, you want to use present perfect. All right, so quick question. This cue card, talk about someone you personally know who has won a big award. If I talk about Steven Spielberg winning Academy Awards, Grammys for directing movies like E.T., is that a good choice? Because that's my next step, right? Step 3 is I'm coming up with a few different ideas, okay? So step 3, come up with a couple good ideas. If you know somebody that has won a big award, great. If you have to create a story, that's okay too, right? So come up with a few good ideas and pick the best one. Easy to talk about, lots of content, okay, and original. So if I talk about Steven Spielberg, the famous movie director, the person who made E.T., for example, and many, many other big films, is that a good choice? Is Steven Spielberg a good choice here, students, for this cue card? Or if I talk about Michael Phelps, the American swimmer who has won like 10 or 20 gold medals in the Olympics, something crazy like that. Is that a good idea? Fuang says no. And Chayani says no, I guess. Yeah, Bogdan says no because you don't know him personally. Exactly, Bogdan, you're right. Okay. Talk about someone you personally know. All right. That means you have to know them. So they have to be someone that you actually talk to, hang out with, spend time with, okay? It's an important part of the question. So it's not good. All right. So we have to think of some other people here, right? So we have to think of like a family member, a brother, a sister, a parent, an uncle, an aunt, a friend, a classmate, a colleague, coworker. So somebody that we know, right? All right, good. Now, what kinds of major awards do people usually win? And students, this is where planning is very important because these ideas will be very, very useful for part 3, okay? Are very useful for part 3. Okay, so think about people, right? So, you know, like brother, sister, uncle, colleague, okay, that you know, teacher maybe, okay, and then think about situations where people win awards. What are some situations, students? I want you to, you know, turn on that quick thinking brain and give me situations in which people are awarded. So where do you get prizes, right? So you think of synonyms for awards. Think of something like a prize, okay? So, or a distinction. Where does a person win an award or distinction? Okay. Yeah, Domenico, so you have to be quick here. So Domenico says, I don't know anybody personally who has won a big award, so I have to adapt the story. Absolutely, Domenico. So think about what you would like to win an award in, right? So you are into marine biology. Maybe you know a person who has won a big award for a nature documentary film. And they won it because they took some amazing underwater footage of coral reefs and coral ecosystems. And that person's name was Dominique instead of Domenico, right? Notice what I'm doing, Domenico? So I'm basically creating an imaginary self that's me who has won an award, but it's not me, it's now my best friend, right? So instead of Domenico, it's going to be Dominic, right? My best friend Dominic, who has a very similar name to me and is a tall, handsome-looking man weighing in at about 90 kilograms of lean muscle, has won a major award for his nature documentary on coral reefs around Australia. Right? So see how I'm doing that, Domenico? See how I'm creating that story based on my own experience, my own knowledge, and my own desire, and turning it into a story around an award, right? Okay, it's doable, right? You just have to have that creative visual perspective. By the way, that's a hint for everybody on how to enhance your thinking when you're not sure of what to do. All right, let's see some answers to my questions, okay? So Masanate says you can win awards for school, for education. Yes, absolutely. It's a big area of winning awards. Education. Fuang says for a piano competition. Yeah, so Fuang, music, right? Music is another place where we can win some major awards, right? Okay. Domenico says, you gave me a bit of a kick to the brain. There we go. We got it kick-started. Okay. So education, music, sports, right? Sure. Okay. Business awards. Yep. Absolutely. Yes, definitely. There are some business awards as well. What else? Anything else? All right. We've got awards in many different domains, right? So keep your thinking open. So education, music, sports, business, beauty, right? So aesthetics, okay? People are awarded for being beautiful, like Miss Universe, or a beauty pageant, right? They're called beauty pageant, if you know this vocabulary. Okay. All right. So coming up with these ideas, very important because they will be useful for part 3. All right, for the purpose of practice, I'm going to come up with one here. I'm going to keep it modern, all right? You will probably never guess the one that I'm going to come up with here for you. I'm going to combine computers with sports. And we're going to talk about my cousin Jerry, who has won a national championship for FIFA in esports. Oh, there you go. Doesn't exist. I don't have a cousin named Jerry. But why not? Esports are a big one these days. A lot of people are into it. And why not talk about my cousin Jerry, who's big into football or soccer and plays a lot of video games and has won a major award in the national championships for FIFA esports. Okay. So here now, all I do is go through the steps of talking about a person. Plus the questions on the card. Okay, so my notes. All right. First, a little bit about Jerry's physical features. So let's say he's short. When we say short, let's give it a number. Now, I probably wouldn't write all of this down, so keep your notes short. Just keep your notes concise as well. So let's say he's like 155 centimeters. Let's say he's scrawny. Scrawny, like that, yeah. Scrawny, 65 kilos. Okay, scrawny is a person who's kind of skinny, right? And this will all connect to this concept of Jerry being this person who spends too much time on video games and not enough time outside. Okay. Dewey says, wow, that's exactly what I'm writing about. My friend really has won a gold medal for FIFA. All right, Dewey, well, we'll check that out in a bit when we're interacting, okay? Yeah, Sunantha, cooking for sure is another one. Food, another area, okay? So short, scrawny, glasses. All right. And then his personality. Addicted. I'm going to say addicted to video games, right? So plays vid for 12 hours a day, okay? And then clever, okay? Strategic, chess, maybe something like that, all right? Let's say, and so the personality that I'm, I could say kind, for example, but how does kind really relate to awards? It doesn't really. I'm trying to think of personality that actually relates to the concept of winning an award. Okay. All right. Let's see. What else? Hand-eye coordination. Okay, that's where I can get right into FIFA. Okay, love sports. All right, so there, and then I'll leave it at that. I don't even need a lot more. I've got the questions on the cue card as well, and I can still come up with more as I'm going along. Okay, so my next step, of course, is to create my first sentence. All right, now, again, everybody, you want to practice this. This is step 5, okay? So you want to practice this at home so you can go through all 5 of these steps very quickly in that 1 minute, all right? It is doable. It's absolutely doable. I've had a lot of students who we trained in the past and said, yeah, I did it. I practiced for doing this for object and person, place, event, and idea. And when I got to the exam, I got to step 5. I had my first sentence ready. And I did just fine, okay? So my cousin Jerry was awarded first place for FIFA esports at the national level in Canada back in 2016, right? So that would be my first sentence there, okay? It directly answers the question, all right? It's very, very important. And please, please, people, do not say something like, there are a lot of people I know who have won a major award. So you know how like... And I know many of you members know this already, but there are, I'm sure, a lot of viewers out there that still do this, where some video or some teacher told you to start by saying like a general statement, like, I know a lot of different, here it's really strange. Like, really? You know a lot of people that have won major awards? That's impressive. but unlikely. It really sounds like you're using a template, like you're kind of just reading from an IELTS textbook or something. I can't give you a good band score if you do that, especially when it's really weird. Okay? Does everybody see that? Everybody see what I mean by that? Thumbs up, members. Like, you definitely don't want to say there are a lot of people who I know that have won a major award. It's kind of like, did you really just say that? Right? So be very careful. Okay? Yeah, Flunk says it's definitely a template band 5, right? Or you definitely wouldn't want to start by saying, like, there are a lot of awards people can win. It's like, what are we talking about, right? So, okay. So this is a big no, right? That's definitely not a way to do it. All right. So my cousin Jerry was awarded first place FIFA for esports at the national level in Canada back in 2016. He is 25 years old, a short and scrawny guy, around 155 centimeters tall and about 65 kilos. He wears thick framed glasses that are very characteristic and probably needs them because he spends so much time in front of the screen playing video games. Okay? All right. So really just visualizing it and getting into it. Now, students, this is speaking, so make sure to speak and repeat. Read this as I'm saying it because you're going to be practicing very soon. Okay? So viewers, what I'm doing right now is I'm just putting together my notes and the questions on the cue card to give that 90-second response to the examiner. So again, for those of you who are just joining in, here are the questions. Now, members, as I'm showing you the questions again, start to think about your own ideas using these strategies and start to take some notes, create your story, because you will have a chance to volunteer shortly. Okay. So this speaking part 2 is talk about someone you personally know who has won a big award. Who is this person and what is her relationship to you? What award did they receive and when? How did they achieve this award? Why do you think they deserve this award? Okay, so all of those questions have to be answered for a high band score. All right, so I have known Jerry ever since I was born because he is a couple of years younger than me. He is my father's sister's son. Over the years, we have hung out every now and again, especially at family gatherings like birthday parties and Christmas. Jerry is super addicted to video games, and he has been playing FIFA soccer on his Xbox as long as I can remember. He is a very clever guy. He always gets top grades in his school. So he is really good at coming up with winning strategies in games. I'll never forget when we heard the news about his big victory, whereby he defeated 10 other highly ranked players to become the national champion in FIFA, winning not only a gold medal for esports, but also a cash prize of $10,000. Notice all that quantitative language, students. Okay. And so here I'm doing really well, right? I'm talking about Jerry. I'm talking about what he looks like, his personality, his award winning this esport game. And students, always, always, always remember, check the card. Check the card at around 1 minute and make sure to answer all the questions, okay? So here, I would definitely jump back to the card, check the card, okay? Or check the questions in the booklet. And then I see, okay, how did they achieve this award? I talked about that, fine. I said he defeated 10 other players. And then why do you think they deserve this award? Okay, so I want to answer that very directly. Okay, so I certainly feel that Jerry has been deserving of this award. Notice that use of the present perfect here as well. I certainly feel that Jerry has been deserving of this award because of all the hard work that he has invested over the years to master this game, practicing an average of 5 to 6 hours daily for at least half a decade. I'm sure that in the future he may even have a professional career playing esports and working for the tech industry. Okay. All right. Now, let's say I'm at about 90 seconds here and I don't want to speak more. I feel like I've answered all the questions and I'm kind of running out of ideas. I'm afraid that I'm going to start repeating myself. So repeating ideas, and I don't want to do that. So I don't want to repeat ideas. I don't want to go off topic. What should I do? Members, what should I do? So if I feel like I've answered all the questions and I'm feeling like, oh yeah, aced that one, ready for part 3, pat on my back, what should I do? What should be my last and final step in this part 2 response time? What do you think? Yeah, that's right, Bogdan. We want to conclude my speech, right? So conclude the speech. Let the examiner know that you're done. You feel like you're done. You're done. Okay? So let's do that. Let's conclude the speech. So I'm proud to personally know a true e-sport champion, my cousin Jerry. Okay? All right. So this is my concluding sentence. Tells the examiner that I am finished. Okay, I'm done. All right, everybody, let's go over this. So read with me. If you're feeling confident, then don't read. Just do it from listening. I'm going to go through the card, go through the answer, and then you will have a chance to speak. So prepare yourselves, warm up by copying me, by repeating what I say. Here's the part 2 cue card that we're looking at again. Okay, so talk about someone you personally know who has won a big award. Who is this person and what is his/her relationship to you? What award did they receive and when? How did they achieve this award? Why do you think they deserve this award? Your 1 minute preparation time is up. Please begin speaking. My cousin Jerry was awarded first place for FIFA in esports at the national level back in 2016 in Canada. He is 25 years old, a short and scrawny guy, around 155 centimeters tall, and about 65 kilograms. He wears thick frame glasses that are very characteristic and probably needs them because he spends so much time in front of the screen playing video games. I have known Jerry ever since I was born because he is a couple of years younger than me. He is my father's sister's son. Ever since he was born, probably makes more sense. Over the years, we have hung out every now and again, especially at family gatherings like birthdays and Christmas. Jerry is super addicted to video games, and he has been playing FIFA soccer on his Xbox as long as I can remember. He is a very clever guy, and he always gets top grades in his school, so he's really good at coming up with winning strategies in games. I'll never forget when we heard the news about his big victory, whereby he defeated 10 other highly ranked players to become the national champion in FIFA, winning not only a gold medal, but also a cash prize of $10,000. I certainly feel that Jerry has been deserving of this award because of all the hard work he invested over the years to master the game, practicing an average of 5 to 6 hours a day for at least half a decade. I'm sure that in the future he may even have a professional career playing esports and working in the tech industry. I'm so proud to personally know a true esport champion, my cousin Jerry. Okay. All right, there you have it. That's part 2, response in a nutshell. Members, are you ready to volunteer? Here we go. Here's your chance to speak. Give me a part 2 answer to this cue card. By the way, everybody, you can send part 2 recordings to the email addresses I showed you earlier. Try to send them in MP3 format. Those are the easiest to listen to and play back. And then we can give you a free band score estimate. That's for everybody watching. You can send your part 2 recording to these email addresses. So anytime you want to get an idea of how you're doing, what kind of a band score you would get on the IELTS speaking, send us a part 2 recording. So record your answer on your phone, send it to us by email, and me or one of my fantastic colleagues will get back to you and say, hey, you'd probably get this band score for that part 2 based on the marking criteria of fluency, grammatical range and accuracy, lexical resource, pronunciation. So we look at all those features. We've been doing this for a long time, so we have some very accurate estimates. Okay. Right now, I will do the same. So I will listen to our members. I will estimate your band score, give you some feedback. Members, you know how to volunteer. Log in. If you don't, let me walk you through it. So to volunteer for speaking, first of all, go to aehelp.com. You have to go to the website. That's where we can actually chat with each other. Go to your My Student account. Okay. Click the student partner speaking. Make sure that your microphone, your browser, your internet connection, they're all good. They're working. Okay. And then you will see me in there as master. Send me a message. I want to volunteer. Let me try. Let me show you. So here's our IELTS premium course. Okay. You can join the premium package by clicking that big red button again that's just right above my head there. Okay, again, it's just a one-time payment, so really doesn't cost a lot. You go to your My Student account, and it's already circled, but I'll circle it again. In your My Student account, you have your student partner speaking. It's right there. You click on that, and then you get into the chat interface. There we are. And we've got Amit, Pima, Keshav, Fuang, Sanantha, Masanate, Vorotilova, Romelia. We've got lots of students in here. If you're having difficulty with it, or if you're not connecting, you can always refresh the page as well, especially in these live classes. Sometimes we have a lot of people joining at the same time onto the server, so you might have to do a quick refresh at times, but that's okay. And then you send me a message. You will see me in here. I can't see myself, but you'll see me as master. Okay, and by clicking that blue envelope that's beside my name, master, you can send me a message, and then I'll see these little orange numbers so I can reach out to you. Now, members, I'm looking for you primarily here. I can see that Sunantha is ready to go, so let's kick it off with Sunantha at the top of the list here. Sunantha, hi, are you ready? Let's take caps lock off. Are you ready? Let's hear about Sunantha's personal acquaintance or someone she personally knows who has won an award. All right. By the way, Fennel, I do see that you're sharing your recent exam experience with everybody in the chat. Thank you for that. That's really cool that you came back to let others know how it went and what kind of experience you had. That's awesome. I always appreciate that. Fennel, write me an email as well. I would love to get an email from you telling me about your experience, especially when you have your marks, okay? All right, Sunantha.
Hello.
Hi, Sunantha. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, sir?
I'm also fantastic. How is the weather in Thailand today?
Oh, today the weather is very hot
How
and
is it humid?
it's around 35, more than 35 degree here.
35 degrees. And is it humid, like moist in the air?
No.
No? Oh, okay, interesting. I found when I was in Thailand, it was often, well, especially on the islands, it was very hot and humid as well. So humidity was quite high when I was there. I like warm. Here it's a bit colder for sure. It's like 6 degrees, 7 degrees. So
Come here.
I
to get
will.
warm.
I will. Thailand is an awesome place to hang out and vacation. It's got beautiful beaches. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Sunantha, let's do this. So cue card time. Are you ready?
Yes, I have to ready.
Awesome. You have to be ready, right? Yes, exactly. That's a good way to think. Yeah. Okay, so I will start you off. You give me your best answer and I will give you some feedback. Here we go. So talk about a person that you I'll do that one more time. Talk about someone you personally know who has won a big award. Your 1 minute preparation time is up. Please begin speaking.
Okay. My relative Pao Pei, she was award from the Mother Chef of Thailand in 2021. That the Mother Chef season 3. The first award that she got is Mother Chef of season 3, but she is a beautiful girl, and she is 130 centimeters and 55 weight, and she is very nice and smart girl because she pay attention and focus to learn new cuisine, to to compete with in a cook competition. So she have participate in MasterChef of season 2, but she didn't get any awards. But she tried again to follow season 3 that she have been trying and improving for a long time, that she got one in season 3 with the uh, Thai with a some with a Thai cuisine, and that's make my relative, her family, so proud of her, and I think she are very perfect to get this prize, because she's hard working, and uh, so she give me a one word, perseverance is very important to get to achieve a goal, and that she practice every single day and try to cook a new recipe, and she learn from another's mentor
Okay, your time's up. I'm
and
going to
adapt.
stop you there, and now we will continue with part 3. Please put the note paper and pen to the side. I will ask you some questions related to your response and questions on this topic. Okay, good. All right, Sanantha, not bad at all. So you have a lot of ideas, okay? One really positive about your response is that I think you have a lot of information that you want to say to the examiner. You're not repeating yourself. So you're constantly giving me new information, which is really good. Your band score would be about a 5.5 to a 6, okay? You're basically at the fluent level, which is 6, but there are numerous grammatical mistakes, word choice mistakes, which do make, and some pronunciation mistakes, which do make it a little bit difficult to comprehend the overall concept, okay? So I get that you have a relative. I think I caught the name. It was something like Alpesh, you said at the beginning, who was awarded for cooking in a cooking show, season 3 of a cooking show. So I definitely got the main idea of the person and what they were awarded for. But I had a little bit of trouble putting together the details clearly in my head. And to get into that band 6.5 and those higher bands, I do have to have clarity on most of those details, okay? So one part of your response, Anantha, that I distinctly had trouble understanding is, what was this show exactly? Like, I thought I heard something like Dramatiship or Mothership or something, but I couldn't...
MasterChef, MasterChef,
MasterChef. I think
yeah,
is
Master.
okay. Yeah,
Master
that I
Chef,
couldn't. Now I'm catching it that we're really focusing in
of
on it. But
Thailand.
okay, so here's an important tip, and this is an important tip for everybody, especially if you have a background where pronunciation in English is difficult, like a lot of Asian speakers. So Thailand, Chinese, Korean, they have more difficulty with the English pronunciation because the pronunciation is so different from the native language, right? So in this case, it's fine. And like I keep reminding Fuang as well, right? To practice the pronunciation. When you're giving the response in the IELTS, Sanantha, make sure that the key words, so like the name of the competition, you really slow it down and really pronounce it clearly, even if you have to like take an extra second. So Master Chef, like really like get your mouth like moving it. So can you repeat after me? Master Chef.
Master Chef.
Yeah.
Master Chef.
Yeah, and that's exactly what you want to do, Sanantha, is really pronounce that for the examiner, because it's a key word, and if I don't understand those words, it's going to make it hard for me, and it's going to drop you by half a band just because of that one word, right? Because it's such an important word. So She won season 3 of Master Chef, and you really want to just pronounce that, okay? All right, now watch your tenses, Sanantha. So that make her family so proud of her. That made, okay? Or even better, use the present perfect. That has made.
Yeah, have made.
That
Have made her
has
family so proud of her.
made.
Yeah.
So repeat after me. This has made her family so proud of her.
This has made her family so proud of her.
Very nice. Okay. So watch the verb, the grammar, watch the pronunciation on some of those key words. Okay. Slow it down a bit and really practice that. All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you so much, sir.
You're very welcome. Thank you, Sanantha, for sharing that. And details, Thai cuisine, what kind of Thai cuisine, right? Like she made the most amazing chicken pad Thai in the finals. Okay, so something specific, okay?
Okay.
All right. Bye, Sanantha.
Bye. Thank you.
All right, let's give Sanantha a thumbs up. That was great. So winning top prize in a TV series, a cooking show. Absolutely, right? We have all those. It's very clever, by the way, Sanantha. We have so many of those cooking shows, or not just cooking shows, but we have so many of these competition reality TV shows on Netflix and on TV as well for all kinds of different areas of cooking or making arts and crafts. I watched one that was about piñatas. It was a Mexican show making piñatas. Who's the best piñata maker? All right, let's take somebody else. Dewey. Let's hear Dewey. Dewey really wanted to, I think, share the esports one with us. So, Dewey, are you ready? Yes. All right.
Yes, hi Adrian. How are you?
I am doing pretty good, Dewey. How are you doing?
I've come down with a cold, but I'm getting better. Thanks for asking.
Yeah, we're kind of on the same page. You can probably hear my voice is a little bit off, but I'm putting up a good fight, so I'm not. I'm still in positive spirits. Dewey, how's the weather in Paris today?
That's terrible. It's very cold. It's very cold outside, and today we have 4 degrees Celsius. So
4 degrees. Yeah, you're about the same temperature as me here in Victoria. You're roughly on the same parallel as Victoria. You're around the 49th, 50th parallel, just like me. So we're both kind of jealous of Sanantha, right? Of that 35 degrees weather.
yeah.
All right. Okay, Dewey, well, let's get into this part 2, because I know it sounds like you know someone who has actually won esports, right?
Yeah, he's one of my best friends in high school, and he really his stuff in the FIFA industry. So.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's almost more difficult to win FIFA esports than the real FIFA. So, all right, okay, Dewey. Well, let me start you off, and then I'll give you some feedback. So here we go. I will show you some questions. You will have 1 minute to prepare, 1 to 2 minutes to speak. Talk about someone you personally know who has won a big award. Your 1 minute preparation time is up. Please begin speaking.
Yes, so a person that I know who has received an important prize is actually one of my good friends, Ming. He has won the first prize in the National FIFA Esports Championship in Vietnam for 2 consecutive years in 2017 and 2018. So far, he has been the only player in this field who has achieved this Holy Grail award for 2 back-to-back years. I've known him since the start of high school, so for about 15 years now. We used to hang out a lot because we had a couple of common interests like playing football and video games. He is about 6 foot tall, he has short hair and has a very buoyant appearance with a golden pair of glasses and trendy colorful clothes. The day Ming became the champion of FIFA in Vietnam, it didn't take me by surprise at all because I always knew and believed one day he would make this happen with his determination and his talent. Since his age of 7, he has been a major name in the FIFA community because of his outstanding performance for such a young age, and people started calling him the FIFA prodigy after he saw off the current FIFA champion back in 2007 with a staggering 3-0 victory. After various local successes, he took part in the national FIFA championship in 2017 and claimed the first prize with 16 wins straight, an all-time record. And he went on and did the same thing in 2018. And this is why, after that, Minh represent Vietnam to take part in their international championship of FIFA in Singapore in 2020, but unfortunately he has been beaten this time.
Okay, I will stop you there. All right, what a story. Thanks for sharing that. I don't know if, there was like a big celebration or party that people held for him. I'm sure there was. You should be the guy that did the speech at that party. That should be your speech right there for your friend Min. That's great. You should use that.
Unfortunately, I didn't get the invite. Didn't get the invitations.
Oh no. All right. Well, that was fantastic. Band score wise, 8.5 to 9 for sure. So depends on your examiner, depends on how picky they are at just kind of like really small subtleties of grammar or pronunciation features. If you had me as your examiner, I'd probably give you that band 9 for that. I thought that was amazing. I thought it was like you're giving a speech at a reception for your friend. So that was really, really good. Your speech was very well structured. It had outstanding lexical resource, and I want to highlight some of these for everybody who's watching. So having this kind of language, for example, where Dewey says he has won in 2 consecutive years. So this obviously reflects that present perfect grammar that I was talking about earlier in the class. And in this case, you're actually using the present perfect for 2 reasons that I showed earlier. Does anybody know what those 2 reasons are? Dewey, what are the 2 reasons that it's really useful here, that he has won in 2 consecutive years?
I think firstly is to show that he has achieved something.
Achievement, yep. Achievement is one for sure, and one of the big reasons that you used it here. And the other one is
I just used it, but I don't know why I used it.
2 consecutive years, which means repetition over time.
Yeah.
So in this case, for the native English ear, when you use the present perfect, not only do I get his sense of achievement, but I even get a slight feeling that there's a chance that Min might again win the FIFA championship in a later year, like 2023. So there's a sense of the possibility of repetition or repeat, okay? So very well used, okay? And then again, you used it here very well, who has achieved this holy grail of winning 2 years back to back. Very nice application of holy grail, okay? So Holy Grail is an expression in English. It comes from a religious background. The Holy Grail is the chalice that people believe Jesus used during the Last Supper for communion, and whoever holds that grail is promised eternal life. So that's where that expression comes from. So it's like the award or the prize that everybody wants, right? It's like eternal life, forever life, right? So very well used in that context, okay? Didn't take me by surprise. So if anybody's out there listening to me still, that's another very good expression. Didn't take me by surprise. So to take by surprise means to suddenly be surprised, but very natural. So Dewey, really nice. That was just overall a really nice speech. There's not really much to improve on there. I think overall it was fantastic. To really like go for that 100%, you can always record this kind of a speech as we are right now. So you can obviously go back and check this later on the YouTube channel. And then you can kind of check like, okay, which words were a little bit mispronounced? Where did I maybe miss a preposition or a plural? And then kind of just fix those one or two slight oddities. But overall, it was really, really good. Okay.
Yeah, thank you very much. I agree.
All right. Thank you for sharing that real story, Dewey, as opposed to my made up story. Have a great rest of your day, Dewey.
You too. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye. All right. So, all right. Thank you for the thumbs up there, students. I see all of that. Okay. So let's get into it a little bit here. Chayani just rejoined our group of members. Chayani, I think you had a chance yesterday, so let's give Bogdan a chance first, and then Chayani, if I don't get to you now, then part 3 for sure. Okay, so Bogdan, if you're there, let's reach out to Bogdan. Bogdan, are you ready? Okay, we've still got a bit of time for a few more part 2 trials here. So Bogdan, here we go.
Hi, hello.
Hi, Bogdan. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing quite well also. Thank you for asking. Bogdan, can you remind me where you are in the world right now?
I'm from Ukraine. To be specific, I live in a small village in the east of Ukraine.
Small village in eastern Ukraine. All right. Well, I'm not going to be too cliche, so I won't ask you about the weather again. I'm guessing it's still kind of cold there.
Yeah, it's cold.
Yeah. All right. Okay, Bogdan, so we'll get right into part 2 here. I'm going to start you off, and then just like Sanantha, just like Dewey, give me a nice full response, and I'll give you some feedback, okay? So talk about someone you personally know who has won a big award. Your 1 minute preparation time is up. Please begin speaking.
Okay. I would like to talk about my geography teacher, Vladimir Fedorovich, who won an award for being the best geography teacher in Ukraine back in 2016. He is 61 years old. He's around 179 centimeters tall, and he weighs about 80 kilograms. He's got brown hair, and he also has bushy mustache. He's really bright and hardworking because he teaches students for 8 hours, 6 days a week, even to this day. In 2016, he was rewarded because he had helped 10 students to win different geography competitions, and I was one of them. I needed to write an article on sand, on different types of sand with different grain sizes, and how this data could be used in building industry. And after spending a year gathering this information and putting it together with my teacher, I managed to get first place in a competition called Academy of Science of Ukraine. And I believe he deserved to win this award because he genuinely loves his work, and at that time he had dedicated around 40 years to teaching geography. He even taught my mother and father, which is amazing. And he also has helped many students to achieve their academic goals. And I'm really proud that I know such a person because he taught me a lot of valuable lessons which have shaped my life for better.
Okay, I will stop you there. Your time is up. And we will now continue with part 3. Bogdan, that was outstanding. Really good. So you had just 1 or 2 places where you got hung up a little bit. So you might get an 8.5. But again, we're talking about some really high grades here. So in the IELTS. So you would definitely, this would be, there's no doubt in my mind that this is a very good English level. So we're judging, is it very good? Is it expert? Somewhere in between. I would probably give you an 8.5, but it's very comparable to what Dewey just did. So you talked about your geography teacher who has won an award for being the best geography teacher in the Ukraine, and you explained extremely well why he deserves that, and and what that means and how he has guided many of his students and helped his students, including yourself, compete in geography and has even taught your parents. You use some really good quantitative language, like 8 hours a day, 6 days a week, even to this day. He has been teaching geography for 40 years. He even taught my parents. So just some really nice quantitative language there. Is this a true story, by the way, just out of curiosity?
It is, yeah, but he won this reward, as I remember, in 2008. I just decided to change it a little bit.
Sure. Okay. So it is a real story, though, and that's great. So that's fantastic that you had an opportunity to study underneath such a renowned individual. Fantastic.
Yeah.
So that was a really good, and you remembered the conclusion. So I really liked how, everybody's paying attention to the instructions that I'm giving you, and you're incorporating a little bit about the appearance of this individual so that we can picture them. And then you're really focusing on, okay, this is their personality. These are the actions that show their personality. So very nice connective language there as well. Okay. One place where I started to feel like, you kind of is where you started to talk in a bit of detail about your award in the science competition. You have to be really careful in that kind of a situation in the real exam, because some examiners might think that you're starting to go off topic and you're talking about now your award, what you won, and they might stop you, right? So I know that you were doing that just to give an example, but you want to keep it really short. Okay, really short, and then go right back to the teacher, right? So I genuinely feel that he deserves this award. Really nice language there. So it was very good that you came back. Okay, just come back a little bit faster in the real exam. Okay.
Okay, yeah, I see. Thank you for the feedback.
All right, Bogdan, keep it up. You'll do fantastic. Do you have an idea of when you're going to sit the IELTS?
I haven't decided the specific date, but probably somewhere in April.
Okay. All right, so you've got a bit of time, which is great. I'm sure that for the speaking, you're going to do really well as long as you perform similarly in your speaking interview. You'll do outstanding. So make sure that you also have a comparable level in the other sections as well, right? So writing, usually writing tends to be the most challenging, especially for those high band scores for high level students. Okay, so just a tip there. All right, Bogdan. All right. Okay, keep up the good studies, and we'll talk again soon. All right.
Okay, yeah. Thank you. Have a nice day. Goodbye.
Bye, Bogdan. Bye. All right. Let's give Bogdan a thumbs up there as well. Very nice. Yeah, nicely done. All right. Okay, students. Let's take one more. Let's see if we've got some other member who we haven't heard from. So Masanate or Asha, I'm hoping that one of you might volunteer. We haven't really heard from you. Oh, there's Masanate. Yeah, okay, all right. Masanate, are you ready? I didn't see you there earlier, or maybe you weren't volunteering at that time. So if you're there, Masanate, let me know. Just send me a quick message back saying, yes, I'm ready. So I know you haven't left. I'm pretty sure you're there because I can see you're giving thumbs up to Bogdan. So Masanate, if you're there, just send me a yes or a hi or yes, my computer's working. There it is. All right.
Sir.
Hi, Masanate. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, sir?
I'm fantastic. Masanate, is this the first time we're interacting?
Yes, sir. It's the first because I tried some other day and I couldn't connect.
Okay. So are you using a VPN?
Wi-Fi, sir.
Wi-Fi. Okay.
Yes.
But not a VPN. So you're not using a proxy network, right?
I don't think so because
Okay.
I don't think. Yes, sir.
All right. And where are you right now, Masanate, in the world?
I am in the Brugge, Assam. It's in India.
In India. Okay. All right. Got you.
But I come from Africa.
But you come from Africa. Where in Africa?
Yes. Lesotho, it's in the southern Africa.
In Southern Africa. All right.
Yes.
So we're moving around the world quite a bit today. That's great. All right. Yes, because your name doesn't seem to me like a typical name in India, Masanate. It definitely seems more like a name that I would hear in Africa somewhere. All right. Masanate, why are you taking IELTS?
Um, because I'm currently studying on a scholarship, so I want to pursue. Now I have realized that most of the scholarships demand us applicants to have IELTS.
Yeah, which makes sense, right? I mean, English is the global language of business and education, so that makes a lot of sense. Okay, Masanate, well, I'll help you out, and I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad you're volunteering. I'm glad it's working for you, and obviously you're an awarded person because you've been awarded a scholarship, so that's fantastic, but you can't talk about yourself, right? All right. So, but you could use that, for example, to talk about yourself as if you're somebody else. So that's kind of a trick that you can do in IELTS, right? Okay. Anyway, I will let you do the talking, and I will start you off. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay. Talk about someone you personally know who has won a big award. Your 1 minute preparation time is up. Please begin speaking.
Okay, the person whom I personally know who has won a big award is my Aunt Mary. She is a giantess. She is tall and scary. She has won the award of being. Yo, I'm so nervous. Sorry, say I'm really nervous. She has won the award of being a. She has won the principal award, best principal award of the year. Ish.
Okay, Masanati, I'm going to interrupt you there because I can feel you're really nervous and stuck, and I don't want you to feel
Yes,
uncomfortable. There's no
I'm
point in doing that.
really.
All right, very typical situation, and Masanate, believe me that we've had several members in the past have the same situation happen when they're doing this for the first time. So that's why it's good that you're doing this, because that's how you gain confidence. That's how you gain fluency. So that's a real, that you're here, you're taking the necessary steps so that this doesn't happen to you in the real exam, which is really good. And I'll give you tips on how you can avoid this, okay? So as soon as this happens, as soon as you get stuck, as soon as you're like, I'm frozen in fear or in anxiety, you just need to take a deep breath, look away, and then look at the questions and look at your notes. So look at your notes, look at the questions, collect your thoughts, okay? So you can even look at the first note here, like, who is this person? You said this is your aunt. Okay, so, or aunt, if we really go with the British pronunciation, aunt. So remember what I said, my cousin? I said my cousin, it's my dad's sister's son. So who is your aunt? Your Aunt Mary. It's your who?
Okay, she's a sister to my brother.
Okay.
I mean, sorry, to my father.
Exactly. Okay, so she's my father's younger sister. She's 42 years old. Okay, so you're giving a little bit more detail there. And then you look at the next question. What award did they receive and when? So you said she has won the Best Principal of the Year award. I thought you said to me that she's a dentist.
I don't know where that came from, because now it feels like some words which are I didn't intend to utter, they just come
It's
out.
fine. It's fine. Just make sense of it, right? So you need to visualize the person you're talking about. So it's possible that she's also a teacher, right? So a dentist can also be a teacher.
Okay.
Maybe she's teaching in
For that
dentistry, right? So she teaches at
I
university and
was trying
college
to
for
say-
dentistry.
I was trying to utter the word giantess, a female giant.
Yeah, so make the connection, right? So again, if you get stuck, just get yourself unstuck by looking at your notes and looking at the questions, and that will help you to get unstuck if you get nervous, right? And not only for this situation where you get nervous, but another situation that a lot of candidates get into is they start to repeat themselves. So they get lost for ideas, so they start to repeat the same sentences that they already said once. As soon as you feel that situation, same idea. You stop and you look at your notes and you look at the questions. It's absolutely okay during the 1 to 2 minutes to stop for 3, 4, 5 seconds, not too long, but 3, 4, 5 seconds to look at the notes, look at the questions, and then get more ideas and continue. The examiners are absolutely okay with that. All right? Okay?
Okay.
All right. Okay, so do you want to try again?
Let me try another day, please.
Okay, I will not force your hand, so you practice that and you try another day, Masanati, but thank you so much for volunteering. Come back next class, volunteer again, okay?
Okay, because I really have a problem with especially the face-to-face. I don't know how to fight this, but it's really there.
You're doing it right now. It's you fight anxiety through practice. Through practice, we build confidence and fluency. And here's the good news, Masanati, and I'm sure the other members can hear this as well, is you have good English. So when you're just having a natural conversation with me right now, I can tell that you have good English. I can tell that you're at least in the band 7 to 7.5 range, at least. You just need to make sure that you take the right steps during the actual exam and show the examiner that, okay? So you just keep coming back, you just keep volunteering and you'll be fine, okay?
Okay, sir. Thank you for the
All right.
opportunity.
Bye, Masanate.
Goodbye, sir.
All right. Yeah, and see, there's all the thumbs up, Masanate. See all the support from your fellow members. They're giving you thumbs up. By the way, students, a really good way to break that anxiety is to book a one-on-one speaking session with me, and you can do that with that yellow button that's just way up there above my head, okay? And don't wait till the last minute, because I get really busy, and also you want time to practice and review. So try to book at least a couple weeks before your exam if possible. Okay, try not to wait till one day before the test if you do that. All right, students, we're going to stop there for part 2, but we'll come back to part 3 here in 30 minutes after a short break. Okay, again, the website that we're using is aehelp.com. You click that big red button that's just right above my head there. To join the premium IELTS package, and for general IELTS it's gieltshelp.com. It's that big red button there. Okay, and thank you, members. The next class coming up is going to be an all chat class. Everybody will be able to join the chat, and I will be randomly selecting people to ask questions from throughout the class, not just members but everybody. Volunteer, build confidence, everyone, and make sure to visit and join us at aehelp.com for academic IELTS, gieltshelp.com for general IELTS. Thank you to my volunteers, Masanate, Bogdan, Sunantha. Thank you, Dewey. That was fantastic. Thank you for sharing your stories. Have a lovely break. Come back in half hour. Join me for speaking part 3. I'm Adrian. I'm signing out from Victoria for now, but I'll be back soon. Bye.